Hey guys, Delta here with my Operation Seraph Shield speedrun guide. For solo, I figured that I'd make a video like this since it seems like Bungie's going to have us do Operation Seraph Shield every single week. So I'm going to be covering every single class and all the builds that I would use when I'm running this in a speedrun. For my hunters, I recommend you use Spark of Frequency, Spark of Resistance, Spark of Volts, and Spark of Feedback, with Flow State and Lethal Current on. I use Storm Grenades, Combination Blow, and Gambler's Dodge. For my Titans, I recommend Spark of Magnitude, Spark of Resistance, Spark of Frequency, and Spark of Shock, running Touch of Thunder and Knockout, with Storm Grenades, Seismic Strike, and Thrusters. Lastly, for my Warlocks, you're going to have two class setups, one on Solar and Void. I run Ember of Imperium on my Solar, Ember of Torches, Ember of Singeing, Ember of Ashes, Heat Rises, Icarus Dash, Fusion Nades, Celestial Fire, and Empowering Rift. And for my Void subclass, I run Healing Rift, Burst Glide, Vortex, Child of the Old Gods, Feeding the Void, Echo of Exchange, Echo of Undermining, Echo of Persistence, and Echo of Remnant. The exotics you're going to need on a hunter is going to be the Stompies and Liar's Handshake. I recommend using Well of Ions with Melee Wellmaker, and you also want to have Lucent Blade on for faster sword recharge when the night comes. For my Titans, I recommend running a double Ashes to Asset helmet with Elemental Charge, and run 2 Firepower mods, Supercharged, and Elemental Ordnance. And for my Warlocks, you're pretty much just going to be on Transversive Steps the whole way through. There's no need to switch to anything else, so that's what I'd recommend for Warlocks, is Transversive Steps. Mod choice is up to you, whatever's best for survivability. Starting off for the classes, you're going to be on Hunter with your Stompies and Stasis. You're going to go ahead and hit a Shatter Skate straight past this Ogre and into the tunnel system. You won't need to dodge any of the lasers and you'll just be able to go straight in. Following this tunnel system, you're going to go all the way through. I do have the laser upgrade from the Exoframe, but it is not needed to traverse this hallway super quick. You just have to dodge all your lasers or be fast enough to get through the lasers before they spawn in. Now note, if you are too fast, you'll see that nothing spawns inside of this room. Don't worry, you can wait a few seconds and then just kill him and everything will spawn like normal. You're going to go ahead and hack the 3 panels and move on straight to the elevators. I recommend going on this far right elevator, as that's going to put you closest to the panel where you deposit your buff. I also switched to Arc at this time, just so I'm prepared for the rest of the run. Now, for my Titans, I'd recommend you start on Dune Marchers for faster traverse speed up until you get to the first boss, but it is not needed. You'll traverse just about as fast, probably like 10 seconds slower, but it's a very small amount, so you don't really need your Dune Marchers. I also recommend that everyone take my pathing that I take here, so that you can avoid the lasers in the quickest way possible. Traversing through this corridor, like I said before, I do have the upgrade from the Exoframe that prevents damage from lasers, or lowers the damage from lasers. So, I'm not going to be taking as much damage, and I'm able to take riskier moves going around these lasers. You can also use your shoulder charge to traverse these tight corridors whenever you don't have Eager Edge. Another thing you can do is you can pre-kill the scanner if you time it just right, and the scanner buff will drop and then he will spawn. Warlocks, yours is going to be very similar to the Titans on how it works, except you're just going to be using your Icarus Dash now and fake skating in between the rocks. Now, when I get to this final rock here, I'll reset my cooldown to about 6 or 7, and then I will just go forward, making it straight through that doorway with enough time to make sure I don't get killed by the turrets outside. Going through these corridors, I'm also going to be attempting to skate through them to make sure I traverse as fast as possible and get to the elevator section as quick as I can. Now, it's okay if you do die to the lasers or you don't have the upgrade to the lasers, because maybe you're not going for a full speedrun, you're just trying to get this done as quick as possible. I recommend to just take it slow and be as quick as possible. Now, when it comes to hacking the panels, I'm going to be skating to each panel and eager edging to the last panel, just doing a normal swipe straight to that panel. And then I also will kill the captain and the vandals that are left over. Going up the elevator, I'm on the far right side because that's going to put me closest to where I deposit my augment. Now, coming out of the pod, I'm going to go ahead and look right and eager edge all the way to the terminal and deposit my buff. I'm going to swap off my sword so I can reproc Eager's Edge, and I'm going to look up so I do not track to that close vandal. Looking up will allow you to avoid some ads that you're trying to hit. Now, going through these small ventilation systems, I'm going to be swiping through with a sword, as that's going to be the quickest way to go through them. Whenever I also have one of those open sections, I will try to fake skate through them so I can get as much momentum as needed. Coming up on the servitor, on my warlock, I will throw a grenade. On my titan and hunter, I'll just shoot my shotgun shot twice. Now, killing that scanner and hacking the terminal like normal, I'll look up, hit an eager edge, and go through these vents. Now for this, if you drop a little bit, then swipe, you can avoid the lasers. Sometimes you won't be able to. When passing through this door, that is when I'm looking at what terminal it is, and then I'm depositing my buff immediately. So I already know what terminal it is, I'm jumping up, and I'm hacking it right now. Going through this corridor, pretty much on all classes, is going to be the same. For hunters, you can jump straight to where this turret is, but for titans and warlocks, I recommend just taking the same path that I took. Right here, I'm going to go ahead and read my own things and memorize them, and jump right down. You can hit one eager swipe here and kind of sword skate your way through. And I swipe over any lasers just to be a little bit quicker and swipe towards my panels that I need to reach. Now, coming in here, I'm going to go ahead and kill this operator as fast as I can and shoot that door and be waiting at it. Now, when you progress through, you're going to go ahead and shoot that op panel and go straight into the tunnels right over here. Those shriekers do hurt, so I don't blame you if you do die. Now, I hit a ricochet rounds. If you aim towards that top right of that window, then you should be able to hit it most times. Sometimes you'll get the hit markers and it won't spawn, but sometimes you just gotta shoot it again. Now, going into boss room, this is where a lot of your armor swaps are gonna happen. For Titans, I'm switching to Heart of Inmost Light and Trinity Ghoul. And another thing to know is this boss, to spawn the Briggs, he's aggro based, so the second that you get him to put up his shield again, you're going to want to hide and start clearing out the room as best as you can from an angle where he can't see you, because this will summon the Briggs faster. So, being on the Trinity Ghoul, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot all the enemies that I can see and try to clear out the room as fast as possible. As soon as those Briggs come up, I'm going to go ahead and chuck a storm grenade on my Titan and kind of let that tick while I clear out the room a little bit more, finding any more enemies I can kill. Now, I couldn't find any enemies, so I'm going up, shoulder charging him to reset my Heart of Inmost Light stuff, and I'm gonna let that grenade kill it and do its work for me. Now I realize that he's not dead, so I chuck one more storm grenade and finish him. For my hunters, it's gonna be pretty similar. You're gonna come in here, you're gonna go ahead and punch that captain. You're gonna go up to the servitor and punch the servitor to death. Now, when I get into the room with the brigs, I'm going to go ahead and swap to my Liar's Handshake and a Trinity Ghoul. Now, being on the Gathering Storm Super, I'm going to get ready to, when he drops his shield, chuck a Storm Grenade and throw my Gathering Storms at the boss. At this time, I'm going over to this side and starting to build combination blow stacks. This is going to be useful for the brigs because you're going to want a ×3 combo blow to be able to two-shot the brigs. So as soon as it says Maw of Zevorath chose her whatever, I'm going to go up to this middle brig. I'm going to go ahead and punch and punch. I'm going to go ahead and reset my combination blow stacks, get my Well of Ions going. Dodge, shoot, punch, punch, brig's dead. And I swipe into an ad here. Not ideal, but I'm going to keep getting those combo blows and keep this up. As soon as I kill this last brig, I'm then going to just switch to Trinity Ghoul and clear that whole room. Warlocks, it's going to be pretty similar. You're just going to switch to Trinity Ghoul here. Now, for me, I also switched to Heritage, but the Wastelander shotgun also works just fine. I'm going to place down an Empowering Rift. I'm also going to melee him and throw a grenade. And I'm going to shoot my shotgun and get to hiding. And I'm going to clear out this room as fast as possible. Another thing to note is when you're jumping, you're also going to be recharging your melee really fast off of those kills. When it comes to the brigs, I'm going to melee. I'm going to sword swipe until I have full heavy charge. When their face pops open, I'm going to go ahead and shotgun. And I'm just going to keep doing that for each brig. I'm going to make sure I have my radiant melee. And then I'm going to go up to the brig. I'm going to melee it. And I'm going to sword until I get my heavy attack ready. Once the face opens up, I'm going to just start shotgunning. And then when all the brigs are dead, I'm just clearing the room with Trinity Ghoul. All classes, just clear it with Trinity Ghoul. Now, another thing to note, this room does have a ton of enemies in it, so if on your chest piece you want to run like double arc resistance, then I would recommend it highly, because arc resistance, everything in there shoots arc. Going into the surrender room, hunters are going to swap back to stasis and stompies, and then you're just going to go through the ship as normal. You're going to go through the surrender cutscene, which is about 40 seconds long. Now, as soon as you get in here, you're just going to hold your interact button, because that's the way to get it frame perfect every single time. It will instantly interact as soon as the interact prompt pops up. At this point, I will start off with a eager edge swipe, get to this door, hack this panel, then go towards the right side, look up, and swipe an eager shot. Sometimes I'll kill the enemies here, sometimes I won't, just depends on what spawns out of the store. Now, coming up on these turrets, I'm going to have my sword out, and I'm going to swipe, slide to the next one, swipe, and come on out to the Spacewalk. Now, on my hunter, I'm going to go to this right side, and I'm going to hit a shatter dive. Hopefully the windmill isn't going up and hitting you, because you will die. But I'm going down and landing on this platform right here. And then from here, I'm going to land on this ship. And normally the ship goes up and takes me up with it, but I messed up this time. So I'm just going to go down and do the operator as normal. And I only hit one panel if I do mess up. And I'll jump on this. Make sure you have 100 mobility as well. And then I'll eager swipe straight to that knight. You don't need to activate the other panels, since the only requirement is to send the op into the augment terminal here. Titans, you're going to be wanting to be on Lion Ramparts, and I swapped to this during the surrender phase so I can go ahead and sword fly across. Now, you don't need to be on the melee that sends you down. I believe it's called Ballistic Slam, but I swapped to it just because I was testing a couple things since I never ran the mission on Titan. Now, you're just going to sword fly all the way towards the end. There's going to be a platform that you're going to be landing on. I also recommend swapping on and off your sword occasionally to reproc your Eager's Edge, just so you can get there a little bit faster. Now, coming up to this platform down here, you can see the operator has spawned. This isn't the traditional spot that the operator spawns, but this is another spot that he can spawn. Now, once I grab operator, I'm just going to go ahead and sword skate towards the end and then deposit my buff. For warlocks, you're pretty much going to be on the same stuff. I was on Starfire just to test something out, but you don't need to be on Starfire. So I'm going to pop my Heat Rises grenade. I'm going to go ahead and Icarus dash 2 times and just kind of fall, catch myself, Ic dash, Ic dash. Now you can land on this platform below me, right down there, but I pop another heat grenade just so I can go ahead and kill this guy right here. And then I'm going to go up, hit one more well skate, and deposit my buff. Now for hunters, you're going to be switching back to Arc and your Liar's Handshake. I tried out Lament here just to see how it did to kill him as fast. I've also seen people use his Anagi's, but this seemed to be doing really well when I tried it. That is also why I'm running Lucent Blade. For my Titans, you're going to be switching off your Lion Ramparts here, and you're going to be going straight back to your Heart of Inmost Light, and you're going to be throwing storm grenades at them. You can also sword here as well to kill him faster. For warlocks, you can also do one of the 2 strats that I kind of showed here with using the Lament, or you could switch to Starfire and Witherhoard and chuck fusion grenades at that boss until he's dead. Now, coming into this next room, on all classes I'm going to slide under and shotgun and hit my 2 operator panels, go into this room, kill my scanner, deposit the buff, and pick up scanner augment. Now, in this clip I did die, unfortunately, but we're going to just ignore that. Moving on, after I scan these 2 panels, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next room and deposit my scanner buff immediately. I will also chuck a storm grenade towards the op right before I go in. I'd also chuck like a fusion grenade, but on all classes I'll chuck a grenade over there to kill that enemy, pick up the operator, shoot the panel, and deposit it again. Then on my Titan, I just used my Thunder Crash to get in here quick because I was already low health, and I'm going to hack that panel. Now moving on, all classes are going to be relatively the same. Shotgunning that guy or throwing a grenade or meleeing him. Just going to go ahead and suppress like you usually would, making sure to hit that servitor every single time. Now, sometimes you can one-shot this, sometimes it's a 2-shot, but I'll shoot it with my shotgun and then I'll deposit my buff. For boss room on my hunter, I will switch to Xenophage, and I will still be running an SMG and shotgun. At the start, I'm going to go up to this top right catwalk. I'm going to chuck my Gathering Storm and a Storm Grenade and be ready for when the suppressor spawns. You can also shoot a couple of shots of your Xeno since you don't need all of it. I'm going to pick up the suppressor augment. I'm going to go ahead and do the suppress like normal. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to be building combination blow stacks for the boss. As soon as you're done suppressing him, you're going to pull out your Xeno, you're going to shoot all the drones, and I missed this one here. Shoot all those drones, make sure your combo stacks are refreshed, and run up to the boss. I'm using a 1-2 punch shotgun, and as soon as I get him all the way down, I'm going to go run back and rinse and repeat. For my Titans, it's going to be very similar. Depositing my augment here. I'm going to sword over here, and I'm going to swap to Xenophage. Essentially the same setup. As soon as you start, you're going to go ahead and Thunder Crash him. Then you're going to chuck a Storm Grenade, and then move all the way up to where you would get your suppressor augment. You're going to suppress like you usually would. This time you don't really need to build stacks of anything. If you do want, I'd recommend killing some of those ads so you can start building firepower, which is going to be really nice to get your grenades back quicker. And as soon as all those drones are dead, I'm going to go ahead and chuck a Storm Grenade, go up to them, kind of clear out this room as I'm going, chucking more Storm Grenades as I go along. For Warlocks, Transversive Steps, and this is the time to switch to Void. I'm running Witherhoard and a Sniper, and there's a neat trick you can do where you can bring the Rally Banner inside with you and rally it a second time. At the start, I'm going to go ahead and throw a grenade and Nova Bomb and sort him a few times, bring him down a little bit. Now, when I kill the suppressor, I'm going to try and use my Witherhoard to tick the boss and reach all my suppresses as fast as I can. Sometimes you'll miss, but with the Transversive Steps, you'll be able to reload your Witherhoard. So if you do miss, when it comes to the drones, I'm using the Sniper, and sprinting is going to reload my weapons because of Transversive Steps, so I'm not going to really have to worry about reloading that Sniper. On my second rotation, I'm going to pop my Healing Rift to use the Child of the Old Gods and start sorting that boss. Running up to the suppressor, I'm going to go ahead and pick up the augment again. You don't need to kill that guy. And I'm going to continue suppressing like I was before, rinsing and repeating the same strategy I used prior. And at the end here, I'm going to be grabbing that Rally Banner, just so I can chuck another Nova Bomb at him. So I'm going to go chuck a nade at him, run back to my Rally Banner, which I should have started off on running to the Rally Banner, and I'm then going to chuck a Nova Bomb, chuck another nade, and mission complete. And that's how you do Operation Seraph Shield on any class as fast as you can. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. This was my first speedrun guide video, and I really don't think I did too well on it, but I tried my best. So if you guys enjoyed it, then please, it would be much appreciated if you could like, comment, and subscribe.